Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Women Petpreneurs podcast with your host, Mary Oquendo. So, my guest today is Jessica Kremer. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Mary. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. I do appreciate it. So, a couple of months ago, I put up a post on my Facebook asking what fun things other groomers do outside of grooming. And I just totally realized that you guys just are having way more fun than I am, far more interesting than I am. But I'm going to start off first. Jessica, how did you get involved in the pet industry?
I was a single mom I was receiving social assistance benefit, I think it's called, because here in the Netherlands different. But I was a single mom and yeah, I've studied journalism and I couldn't continue that course because I didn't have the money. And well, the social assistance benefit, they wanted to fund me education. So I was thinking, okay, what do I want to do? And this time it has to be something that I love and which I can continue doing until I get old and I can do it with being a mom as well. So I was thinking, okay, what do I actually love besides my son? And that's dogs, animals. So I thought, okay, it has to do something with animals. But what can I do at home? And so I was Googling, and that was dog grooming.
Okay. So, my question for you is that you are not in the United States. So, you're in the Netherlands, correct?
Yes.
What is grooming like there?
Um, it's booming. We have like waiting lists. Even I'm not in a really big um, town, but we have multiple grooming salons and they're all full. So it's crazy. But I think that the biggest difference is in the education system here, because if you want to, we also have like homeschooling courses. But if you have like a serious grooming education, we have like the ABHB. It's like an branch organization, and you have to go follow a certain education. You have to do at least 100 days of internshipment. So I think that is a big difference, and it's you have to do it. It's obligated to do it.
Okay. So 100 days, that kind of relates to divide that by five, 20 weeks. So 20 weeks, 5 months. Correct? That sounds right.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that should be a bare minimum, no matter where you are. 20 weeks of education before you can call yourself a groomer. And I think like that, I mean, some people learn faster than others. Some people are more natural than others. Yeah, we all get that. But I think that 20 weeks at 5 months really needs to be a minimum all across the world.
It's well, I do have a pet grooming academy as well, besides my grooming salon. And the branch organization is saying 80 days. We are saying 100 days because I know even with 100, most people, they don't have the quality and the speed to actually, well, have a good living of it. So mostly I tell the interns and the students, just see it as the bare minimum, because in practice you will need lots more than that.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. When I went through Petco's Academy, which was 4 months. So 80 hours all total. Okay. And that included being in a shop working with a mentor too. So, and you know what, decent, but I did not consider myself qualified enough to go out on my own after those 80 days. So,
No, I had the same. I really knew, okay, I got my diploma, but I'm far from where I need to be.
yeah, and somewhere in one of my drawers is my actual Petco diploma somewhere. I have to find it. It's one of those things that I kind of saved. So I saved my diploma. I saved my Petco pins that had my name on it. It said groomer. And I have my original, because this is back in the day, people. Okay. So one of my mentors made me make a card catalog, my own card catalog. So it was index cards, and it had all the breeds on it that I had to do myself. So I had to go find pictures, I had to put the pictures on there, and I had to put information about the breed and the grooming needs of the breed. I still have that. It's an
That's
antique.
cool.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
a couple things that I tossed when I left, but that was not one of them. Somewhere I have like a Petco sweatshirt too. It does not fit me. I guarantee you, it does not fit me anymore. But anyway, so what do you do for fun? Let's start there.
Do I do for fun?
Yeah.
Well, lots of things. I really like personal development and everything that has to do with it. So I'm doing a lot of courses and studies and healing sessions, everything that has to do with it. I'm breeding dachshunds, wire hairs.
Ooh,
Uh,
okay.
I'm studying to be a dog show judge. I'm an aspiring dog show judge because if you wanted to be a dog show judge here, you have to do at least 3 courses before you become an aspiring judge. And then for every breed, you have to do a separate education and internship as well.
Okay. I have a fondness for dachshunds.
They are very cute. They're little clowns.
They're little clowns. In fact, I don't know if you could hear in the background, but one of them is making a lot of noise, and that's Cecil, who is we call them the Chewini brothers because they're Doxy, Chihuahua, and Min mixes. And yeah, Cecil and Speedy are something else. That's all that's all I can say. Cecil is most Dachshund like, but Speedy is more Min Pin like. But yeah, I give you kudos for breeding them. So
Yeah, I really love them. I don't have that much at home, but I work with like co-own dogs because I have puppies at the moment. They're across the room here. They're like 5, 6 weeks old, and they're so cute and quiet at the moment. But if you're 2 weeks from now, they're like tiny dachshund terrorists in the house. You're like, oh, thank God we have 1 or 2 more weeks to go. Then they fly out.
okay, yeah, terrorist is a good word for them. And that's how I would actually describe Cecil. Cecil is my homegrown terrorist in my house. All right. He's also diabetic, so he has to get insulin shots. And that's a real treat for me to give him insulin shots. But anyway, all right. So I'm big in personal development as well, too. I do a lot of energetic work on myself. I have, if you were to see my office, it's like just lotus crystals everywhere, in my pocket, on my desk, hanging up. What can I say? All over my house.
I know
Um,
you inspired me. I've read your book because when I was um, wanting to change in my life, I became a mother 5 years ago. My son turned 5 yesterday. My oldest is 21, and then I was there was something missing in my life, and I thought, what is it? And that I was really realizing I want to do more with spirituality and the holistic vision. I really like it, so I really dived into it. So I started out with essential oils and with crystals, and then, well, I found your book, so I took it as a blueprint for how I wanted to level up my grooming salon. And well, that was the beginning of the end because since then I've done a lot. I'm also a Reiki master, learning to be a Reiki trainer. I recently had an initiation in Kundalini Reiki. I'm in a few months, I'm a holistic therapist for people. And I'm also learning to be a truffle ceremony
yes, that got my
facilitator.
attention. Okay. So you posted you were doing something with truffle ceremony, and I have no idea what that is. I have not ever heard of that. So I did Google it, but I'm going to have you explain it. What is that?
So I think for the States it's even more controversial because I don't think it's legal in the States. Here in the Netherlands it's legal. You can smoke a joint in the street. It's even legal here. But well, let me explain what truffles are. You have like magic mushrooms,
Right.
and the magic mushrooms are not legal here in Holland. Because they grow above the ground. But the truffles, they are a side product of the magic mushrooms. They grow under the ground. They are called sclerotia. And they also contain psilocybin, just like the magic mushrooms. And they are used in therapeutic sessions, just like, well, if you go back in the days, you have like MDMA, LSD, all sorts of psychedelics. They first started out in psychotherapies. Well, since the 60s, it has decriminalized, sorry for my English, by the war on drugs by Nixon. But they have really good therapeutic compounds in it. So what you do with the truffles, you use them because you can get the psilocybin out of it and it connects to your serotonin receptors, and then you will go like travel in your unconsciousness. Well, some people will call it tripping, but that's the fun part. If you do it for a therapeutic session, it has a different meaning and load to it.
Okay, so what kind of therapeutics would that be used for?
um well, it can be for trauma blockages. Well, for the people that I don't know if you have heard of Gabo Mate, perhaps. He's like an holistic doctor, and he has wrote a different kind of books. Like, for instance, the book When the Body Says No, and he claims that if we don't express our feelings or our anger or anything, it will get stored in our body. And if it's stored in our body, then there's no flow in your body and you get ill. And that can be something, if you look from the holistic vision, that can be something simple like a sore throat if you don't speak out. But if you have really grief or anger, it can even become cancer or worse. So that's the reason you want to heal yourself. And of course, you can go to a normal therapist, but a lot of people of us, they have masks on, not like the Halloween masks, of course, but we all try to, stay in our how society thinks we should be. So that's why some therapies for some people don't work, and even with addictions, it works.
Okay, cool. You also, and I noticed on your Facebook page, and you posted up a lot of things about body image. And I think that's really important because I mean I grew up in the 60s, so and I mean, even still to this day, I mean, you look at commercials on TV and you look at the models and you look at whatever, everything is about body image. And when like a celebrity has what I like call a normal body, they get all sorts of hateful comments on it. Right. So I think it's something that really needs to be addressed, that to be comfortable in the skin that you're in. And you were, was it karate? Not karate. It was not karate. What was
Judo,
it?
judo.
What was that?
Yes, I did judo when I was
That
younger.
was it. Yes. All right. So how has that impacted your life from like the very first time when they told you you couldn't do it to now?
Well, it even started in my own home because my mother told me I was a fat pig when I was 15.
Oh,
So,
yikes.
and when I was younger, I was bullied in school as well. So my self-image and my self-esteem and my self-love has been really, really low, or even hardly present. So the development part and owning a business has really developed my self-esteem. So that's, yeah, why I have been busy. No, I have been heavier before as well. I've been more than 30 kilos heavier than I'm now, but it doesn't have to do with how much you weigh. It has all to do with your own image. Everybody can say something about you or but it all has to do with the power that lies in you and how you look at yourself. So that's what I wanted to post, because there were some other Dutch groomers. They were like lashing out because I placed the pictures on Facebook as well. Oh, you don't have to. You should not post those pictures on Facebook because, well, I don't want to see it. And I was like, yeah, that's your problem. If you really look at the pictures, they are boudoir pictures, but if you really look closely, you hardly see any skin. It's just the imagination that makes you think otherwise.
Yeah, I think so many women struggle with the whole body image, um, that I can look back at every period of my life and I can think, damn, I'm fat. Okay. And I could say now, I wish I was as fat as I was 30 years ago, in which case I thought I was fat then too. All right. So, yeah, I saw them and I thought those were really, really great. Um, I don't think, no matter what my body shape was, I don't think I could post pictures like that. And I think that's ingrained in me, you know, of growing up, and like that's not have ever been really truly comfortable in my own skin. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally understand, because um, it was not until this year that I actually told myself, I really love you. I really love myself. I was in Glastonbury in England. It's like a magical place in England where they have work with the goddesses, and they have like the goddess house. And I was there on a retreat, and the red line in the workshops that week was that I was working on my self-love, and a lot of things came to me, and that was the first time in 43 years I really told I had to look myself in the mirror, and I really told myself that I love you. And that was, yeah, that was yeah, how do you call it? It was just, it was
Amazing.
rocking my world, because before that I always have hated myself, how I looked. I did go to the gym, but it wasn't because I love my body or I love me. Because I hated myself, and because all the things I worked through, that made me realize it doesn't matter how I look or what other people think of me. It does matter that I know that I'm okay, and that's I work on the best version of me daily.
Okay. All right. So do you have like a routine in which that you work yourself, that you work on yourself?
Well, physically, I'm going 2 to 3 times a week to the gym for heavy lifting and stuff like that. I just recently started yoga on the Thursday morning at 8. But
Yeah. I feel you. I truly feel you. Don't schedule me any classes at 8 o'clock in the morning. I am not going to show up.
yeah, well, my son is 5. He's going with the bus to school, and he's picked up at 7:45 now. So I didn't
Um,
have any excuse anymore not to go.
okay, yeah, I'll
So
give you that one. I don't have kids in school anymore. So I don't have to be anywhere at 8 o'clock in the morning. The only time I have to be someplace like at 8 o'clock in the morning is if I'm at a conference and the trade show director scheduled me like first thing in the morning. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
if I didn't have kids and dogs, then I would be in bed to at least 10 or 9 or something, because I hate waking up in the morning.
Yeah, I am not a morning. I could be a morning person if I have to be, but I am not by nature a morning person. So when I lived on the East Coast, um, I had no trouble moving from the East Coast to the West Coast because it meant that I was like sleeping in. So those first couple of mornings that I was here, and I was getting up, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning here, and it was really 10 o'clock in the on the East Coast. I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm sleeping down at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is great. you know? So, but unfortunately now I've gotten used to that. So it doesn't feel like 10 o'clock in the morning anymore. But yeah, I know no operating brain cells at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, okay.
I'm a night owl as well, so I really feel you.
And here's the thing. I'm not even necessarily a real night owl. I mean, like 10, 11 o'clock. Yeah. But I'm more like, what do you call people for like mid-afternoon? So it's not morning birds. We're not night owls. What are we? I don't know. I have to figure out a term for those of us who do really well in the middle of the day, and that's our time. I'll have to
A
think about that.
lazy kitten, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe, but I think, and I think I need an empowering name.
We'll think of it.
We'll figure on it. We'll figure it out. Okay. But anyway, all right. So yoga, I would think I would like to get in, but involved with, but you know what? I need an accountability partner to do anything as far as exercise is concerned. If somebody is not saying let's go, I'm just not going to do it. And I know that. That's why I don't have a gym membership, because hubby over here needs knee surgery, so he can't join the gym just yet. And I'm like, let's get the knee surgery. Let's get the knee surgery, because if he pays for something, he's going to do it. All right. So if he's paid for a gym membership for both of us, we're both going. I'm going to have like no choice. I'm going to be dragged to that gym. And that's what I need.
When I was younger, I was doing judo on international level. I've been a Dutch junior champion. I was number 5 on the European champions, and even then, it was because it was a sort of I have to, because working out was never fun, and still it's not that I hate it, but um, when I had some arm problems 2 years ago. That was the first time in all the years that I've been grooming. So I was grooming at that time, I think 14 years, 15 years. That was the first physical problem I was getting. It had to do something with my nerves in my arm. And I said, okay, I'm getting older. I have to work better on my body, because I had been really neglecting myself on multiple levels, not only the physical level. I was eating bad. I gained a lot of weight. Uh, I was not taking care of myself. So then I lost the weight. I thought, okay, I have to go to the gym again, but really don't want to, because when I was younger, I was going like 4 or 5 times a week, and I was training, and I was puking besides the judo mat because it was going so tough and intense. So I was like, oh, I don't want to go. But I made a deal with myself. I said, okay, at first we're going to start with 1 hour personal training. If that's in my system every week, then I will do 2 times personal training. And if that's in my system, I will do 1 time myself. And if that's in my system, I will uh, going down with the personal training. And then I started, because I said, okay, now well, at the moment I'm 43, but that was 2 years ago. When I become 50, I want to look in the mirror and say, damn, woman, you look good for 50. So that was the deal I made with myself. I'm not going on the scale. I don't have a clue how much I weigh at the moment. People say, oh, you have lost weight. But I don't know, because the batteries in my scale are gone. But yeah, I really, the weight was when I was young, it was really like an obsession for me. I said, okay, that I'm not going to do it. When I get older, I want to be fit, and I want to be healthy, and that's the most important thing. The rest is just not important.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that too because I'm now early 60s. Okay. And I don't, I'm going to retire fully. At some point, I'm going to, you know, say, hey, I love you guys, but I'm done. And I want to be able to enjoy those years in which, you know what, I don't have to be any place. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. And I want to be able to enjoy those times too. So I am not horrible about my diet. My diet is actually pretty good. It's the lack of exercise on my part that's the problem. But you know what? I find a gym boring if I don't have someone to talk to. Okay. Walking on a treadmill or whatever, I'm just gonna be like, this is really dumb. This is boring. I'm bored. No one's talking to me because they're serious. It's like, no, we're not going to talk to you because we're working out. This is why we're here. You know?
Yeah, I have the same. Like ages ago, I started running, but I'm bored very easily.
Yeah.
So it now with the training, I'm doing like 15, 10, or 8 repeats, and then I do it like 3 or 4 times. That's it, and then I'm going to do something differently. That my brain can I can handle that, and then in an hour, mostly I'm gone. So that's fine for me. But it's not because I think, oh, let's go to the gym. It's fun.
No, it's not. I will probably have to get a personal trainer to at least somebody will be talking, even if they're yelling at me. All right. They're talking to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, yell at me all you want. All right. It's someone interacting with me and I'm not bored.
Well, I
So
have a holistic personal trainer. She started the education at the same time with me. So, but I see she does it with her other clients too. So she is doing holistic session at the same time as she is training me. So we are discussing personal development and limiting beliefs and patterns and things like that. So it's just like very interesting session. And meanwhile, I'm exercising. So
oh, okay. See, now I could do that. I'm gonna go into my local community group and say, hey, is anyone here a holistic personal trainer? If so, I would like to have a conversation with you and see
I
and see
think
what that.
I think that's the thing. The things you drag to do, how can you make them more fun?
Well, yeah, and that's a really good point too, because I will always say when there's things I don't want to do in my business, I'll hire someone to do it for me. But you can't do that with personal training. You got to do it. You have to do it. Um, so when you first started to get into like the holistic part of grooming, how was that met? How was that met by the people in your area, by your support system? So when you made that move,
Yeah, I did it very gradually. I first started with the oils, and I did then do some schooling in healing touch for animals, and then I started to change. Well, in the Netherlands, it's very common that a dog comes in and you don't schedule another dog at the same time, and then it goes out. But then some people, they just have to go, and the dog has to be out. And I didn't want to do it because I saw a lot of older dogs with injuries or dogs with too much stress, that I said they can't handle to be only 1 or 2 hours here, just because I want to move fast. I changed it in from 9 to they are here from 9 to 1 or 12. And if I see that their cup is full, they can step off the table and they can walk around or lie somewhere, and then I just pick up another dog and we can do it just like that, so they have more time. So I really was talking to my clients why I did it, and that it was in the best interest of their dog, and then it was no problem for them.
how did some of the area of the groomers, how did they take it?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not really in touch with the other groomers here, and I think it also because most groomers here they have like they do it part-time and they only have like a few, they have like 3, maybe 4 dogs a day, so they're not really invested with what I'm doing. And
Okay.
um, because I also have my dog grooming school, of my pet grooming school, I think they look a little bit up to me. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, that's good because I've always said, you know what, other professionals should be colleagues. They shouldn't be competition. Because you can learn from anything from anybody if they're willing to share, right? If they're willing to learn and they're willing to share what they do, what they find to work for them. I can remember my daughter, so her first trade show, okay? She was just all over the place. She was so excited. And she was like picking out things that maybe I would not have noticed because you know what? I've gone to the trade shows for years. And she would pick up a couple of things that was interesting to her. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's actually a really, really good point. I had not thought about that. So, minds are like sponges. Use them.
Yeah, and the cool thing is I was training students, so with changing my own salon, I was also changing the way I educated the students, and well, with that, the industry here changed as well, and even have it in my dog grooming and my cat grooming course in the red lines we call it here if it's across the study material. So for me, it's very normal. We have like lessons about foreign dogs because we have a lot of rescue dogs here from Spain and Turkey. So we have like a little small class about that. We have a little class about how you deal with puppies and how you can train them and groom them, and how you deal with older dogs or dogs with well, medical problems or other impairments.
That's good. That's good. Because I was a mobile groomer and I specialized in the seniors, you know, the senior that one-on-one time close to home. They always did so much better with me. And again, going back to the whole networking and being colleagues, I would have area groomers who didn't want to groom that 14, 15, 16-year-old dog anymore because they were uncomfortable doing it, would send them to me. And I would send them breed cuts because I'm not putting a Bichon in a full trim. That's not the type of groomer I was, you know? Give me the old guys. I love the old guys. But yeah, that the book that you were talking about, the holistic pet grooming book, that book was born from Pepe. Pepe was the evil Chihuahua. Pepe had been banned. This is a little Chihuahua had been banned from every shop in the area. And it took 3 grooms of just changing my environment so that he was comfortable. 3 grooms, he was good as, I'm not going to say good as gold, good as maybe bronze.
Well, that's good enough. At least you won't lose your fingers
I
during
wasn't
grooming.
losing my fingers anymore. The groom was getting done. It was getting done faster because he was cooperating. And he was he was as close to a good boy as you could possibly get. He was no longer in my top 10 for a while there. That first groom, he really shot up to the number 1 spot. But after 3 grooms, he was good. He was easy. He was easy, not easy, easier to groom, and it was much less stressful for him. So yeah, and his mom was appreciative. Came out looking good. He wasn't dying during the grooming. I wasn't getting mauled during the grooming, so we were all happy. All
But it
very
all has to do with the appreciation of the owner as well,
yeah.
because I have the patience, I have the time, but sometimes you just have owners who don't appreciate. They would just want they want the groom to be done fast, and they want to do it done cheap. They don't care about the well-being of their pet. I'm like now at the point that I say, oh, if you don't care at the point of your the well-being of your pet, then I'm not the groomer for you. So bye bye.
Yes, that is, that's a wonderful attitude. You know what? So when I was grooming, I was in a city, not a huge city. It was a very, very small city, but it was still a city. And there was 9,000 licensed dogs in that city. That's not the unlicensed dogs. That's not the cats. And that's not surrounding towns. I can't groom all those pets. I can't. I'm going to groom the pets from the owners who appreciate their pets, who want to take good care of the pets, and didn't mind paying my prices because they knew the care that they would receive. I literally had one owner go to me, you know, Mayor, I've had better grooms, but I would never let anyone else groom my pet. You're the best. I understand this dog was a 10 shave down. It was a Shih Tzu turned into a pug. Okay. I don't know how she got better grooms on that, but anyway, that's what she wanted. But that's a direct quote. And I was like really happy with that quote.
Yeah,
It's not,
that's for
it's
me
not a,
even more.
not necessarily a testimonial I would put on my website. Maybe leave half the testimonial out. I cannot imagine taking my dog anyplace else other than to you. Yeah, leave it at that. We'll leave out the whole, I've had better grooms.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. And even if the way I groom, the way my salon is, it's when I look at, well, it was in 2007 that I started my salon, so that's a while ago. So much has changed. I've changed as well. And there was a time that everything, well, if it was possible, it had to be a breed cut. The coat could be long. If I could demat it, I could demat it. And now I'm just at the point that I think, well, if it's just a little bit of matting, that's fine. But otherwise, it's going to just a shave down. I'm not going.
Exactly.
I'm not going to torture dogs anymore.
Well, I think, and I learned that lesson back when I worked at Petco, because we had this Maltese that came in, and there was probably a poor technique on my part because the dog is coming back matted all the time. But I'm dematting this dog, okay? And it keeps coming back to me. And I know she's not brushing it, but I'm probably damaging coat too, okay? So it's as much my fault as it is the owner's fault that this dog is coming in the condition that it is, right? I think the word, and it was a little Maltese, and it chewed up my finger, totally chewed up my finger. And, you know, and I think for me, that was a real wake up call that I was not doing right by this pet. All right. And I had to sit back and think, you know what? I can't do this. I'm not dematting this dog anymore. Okay. And it doesn't matter the process I'm doing to dematting. It is obviously hurting. This dog doesn't want to do it. So I explained to the owner, either we shave the dog down, or you're going to have to take your dog someplace else to demat because I'm not doing it anymore.
The second you start dematting, the coat is already damaged.
Yes.
So even if you demat it, if you look under a microscope, because we have a groomer here in Holland, she did some research on it. If you demat it or you use the wrong tools, then you see that the hair shaft is already damaged. So, and if you have like a smooth hair shaft, it's smooth. But if it's damaged, you will see hooks. So even if you demat it, it will cling to each other with all the hooks together. So it's yeah, it's going to be matted sooner because of the dematting. So the best thing to do is shaving it down. Or yeah, the only problem is that the owner doesn't want to walk around with a naked dog.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. She took the dog to another groomer. And I was fine by that because that dog chewed up my finger. All right. Maybe another groomer could have done a better job. I don't know. You know what? But I was not going to torture the dog anymore. Um, one of the good things about when I did work for Petco, the store manager left all the decisions to me. So there was no, you have to do this, you have to do that. There was not. I was the grooming manager. I make the decisions on how it's run in that shop. And that made life really a lot easier to do that, to turn away those dogs. So I learned early on that you don't have to groom everything. Either I am not the right groomer, or I'm not comfortable doing this.
And you say maybe they did a better groom. It's just the perspective what you're looking
Yes.
from. But because if you go to a grooming contest, yeah, probably it's the better groom. But if you look at from a holistic point of view, that would have been a worse groom. So it all has to do what feels best for you in your
Mhm.
heart and what is your vision in your salon.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a really, really good point, that these are our salons, these are our places of business. And because we're the business owner, we get to make those decisions on how things are run.
Yeah, and just like to go back to the pictures I posted, some people they can call me perhaps fat or ugly or
I
whatever,
thought
but just with your
they were beautiful. They were absolutely beautiful.
thank you. But even that, just like with having your own business, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. It matters what you think is right and that you fully act from that. So that is, yeah, I just wanted to make that uh,
The distinction,
yeah.
and I actually just want to go back a little bit too. So you were talking about this retreat in Glastonbury, which has now piqued my attention. So what was that retreat called?
It was the Avalon retreat
Uh,
because Glastonbury is said to be linked to Avalon, and that is to the legend of King Arthur. So it's like a very magical place. If you come there, the energy is just really something different. Um, and they have like the goddess house there and the goddess temple. They have like if you go you have the Glastonbury Abbey and the Chalice Wells, and they there are the ley lines. I don't know if you have ever heard of the ley lines, but they have to do with Mary and Michael, the Mary and Michael ley line. So there is another energy vibrations, and the chalice wells and the red springs. Well, they all have to do with those legends. So it's very the energy is there just mind blowing, but you have to be into energy and frequencies to understand that. I can imagine if somebody is not into that, that they are thinking, "Oh my God, what is this hippie granola woo?" So as you
yeah.
called it.
Here's the thing, right? I could probably drag my husband to this. Okay. And he will say, I don't, this woo woo crap. All right. But enjoy himself. We would go to the Sedona area, and we go to like the vortexes, and he would just like stand in there, and you could just see him enjoying it. He's like, I don't believe this shit. But he's there
Like my
enjoying it.
husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you have the Abbey, the Glastonbury Abbey, it's really big and it's really beautiful. And you have the Glastonbury Tor as well. It's really on a big hill. And we did like a little yeah, we did like a ritual. We walked there in silence, and we had an initiation, and we went to the White Spring as well. The White Spring is like, well, you cannot even make pictures there because it's a really sacred place, and there were priestesses singing, and it was like, wow. It was,
Yes.
I really,
We'll be Googling this when we finish up this podcast, just saying. Okay. So,
I'm going next year again.
okay. So I'm going, like I said, I'm going to go Google that. Now, where do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years? Where would you like to be in your career, in your life, in, let's say, 5 years? What's your 5 year?
I think I'm already moving there. I had a car accident like 7 months ago, so I'm it's getting better now, but well, I'm already 18 years in the grooming industry. I did judo, so my body is at the moment quite okay, but the past 7 months has been horrible, and it really has given me some insight that my body is not going to last forever. So at the moment, I think for 5 years from now, I'll be where I'm going now, and is that I'm just will be occasionally in my grooming salon, mostly as a manager, having fun with my girls who work there, and sometimes perhaps do some workshops, but not that really much anymore. Um, I'm also in my pet grooming academy, but also more like the director, really managing everything. And well, I'm going to start my holistic business in probably the 21st of December or the 1st of January, depends on when it's finished. But 21st of December has a magical
Hmm.
because of the Yule, and it's also my the date when I was married, and it was also the date of birth of my grandmother and my ex-father-in-law, or my father-in-law, but he passed away, so it's a very special date. So I hope it will be finished the 21st, but I'm going to focus more on the holistic part of being holistic therapist, coaching with the truffles, but with microdosing, and doing the truffle ceremonies, doing some online classes, and also I'm also doing business coaching for dog groomers as well here in the Netherlands. So I'll be focusing more on that than the actual grooming.
Okay, so somebody wanted to get in touch with you regarding any of the things that you're doing. How would they do that?
I have an Instagram account that
What's
is
it?
Jessica Frijling, but I can
Ah,
imagine it.
okay, spell that for everybody.
Yes. Well, Jessica, Jassica, and then my last name will be Frijling. Dus Jessica Frijling, that's my Instagram name. I have Facebook, same, Jessica Kremer-Frijling. So Kremer will be Kraemer, and then Frijling as well, as I spelled before. I also have LinkedIn, and if you want to look up my websites from my grooming salon. No, that will be too hard. I will do it in Dutch. From the Pet Grooming Academy, that will be Trim Academy. But Academy will be with YE instead of the Y.
Okay. All right. So make sure I get those links. Okay. So I'll put them into the description of the podcast. Okay. So words of wisdom before we go.
Um, just follow your heart, and the rest will follow.
Awesome. Jessica, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, right.